Hello and welcome to this Master Gardener presentation. Today we're out here at the Plateau Discovery Gardens at Ag Research. My name is Carol Burdett. I'm a Master Gardener here in Cumberland County, and we have a great subject today. We're going to tell you all about ground covers. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mostly the good though. We have a welcome center here. If you come out, you can come anytime during daylight hours all year round. And it's free. Just come out here to Ag Research and 70N, and you can bring your coffee and your iced tea and sit up here and just enjoy listening to the birds singing, enjoy the beautiful view all around you. And now we're going to get out into the gardens. If you do come out here to the Discovery Garden, you're probably going to want to start out with the little red house because we have pamphlets and brochures in here. The one I think you're most going to enjoy is this one that's got a lot of numbers in it. And this one tells a little bit about each one of the plots we've got out here, and it has a number that tells you where you are, and of course there's a corresponding stake with the number when you get there. Now we're going to talk ground covers. So let's start out with the ugly. I promised you good, bad, and ugly. This, well, it doesn't look like much right now. This is just getting started. This one is the chameleon plant, and it's called that because it has a lot of different colors on it later on. It doesn't stay green. It has cream and red and pink, and it looks beautiful. And if you go to a nursery and buy this, you will be so sorry. This is really a bad plant. It stays beautiful for about a minute, and then it gets aggressive, and it'll be all over, and you almost can't kill it. That's the chameleon plant. Number 2 on my hit list is this one. This one is English ivy. I have some English ivy at my house. I'm sorry I have it. But it's really pretty good. If you've got it on banks, it'll really take care of banks. But it's going to grow up your trees and smother your trees if you leave it there long enough. Vinca is a native plant that's all over, and it has its purpose too, but it is highly invasive. Yellow archangel is not blooming yet, so we don't see it as yellow, but this one is a plant that has yellow flowers on it. It is very aggressive. That's yellow archangel. It's on our hit list for a no-no. And the last one that we have a problem with is this one called Snow on the Mountain, or bishop's weed. I love it. I've got it in one separate garden that has grass all around it and one tree growing up in the middle of it. And it's great because I can keep everything mowed around it and it can't take off like it wants to do. But that one is Snow on the Mountain. Now we're going to get to one that a lot of people think are aggressive, and I guess we could call it aggressive but not invasive. This one is a Juga. J-U-G-A, and there's a couple of different varieties of ajuga. I love it. I do have it, but some people said you got to put that on the invasive list because it will get out into your grass, and if it does, just spray it with a little broadleaf weed killer or dig it up. This is ajuga. Okay, those are on our hit list for the bad guys, so now we're going to go to the good guys. Now we're out here in the native garden, and there's just a few ground covers that I want to show you here because ground covers come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. But before we get to the phlox that is my main focus, this one's butterfly weed. Isn't that beautiful? And it's just full of bees and little pollinators right now. So it's a little tall to be a ground cover, but I know you want to know what it is. Butterfly weed. Now this is Phlox subulata. That's the creeping phlox, the ground phlox. Comes in a lot of different colors, but right now we're staying in the native garden, and so this is the native color, which was kind of a purple blue. So that's phlox. It's beautiful when it blooms, as I think everybody knows, but after it blooms, just cut it off with a weed whip and cut it off by half, and it'll stay beautiful all year. Grows so thick the weeds can't get through it. We also have a little one here that is just so charming in the garden. This little red guy is a purple knockout sage, and that's, of course, a wild plant. You may have seen it out in your pastures and not thought kindly of it, but it is a beautiful plant. And the only other one that we want to talk about here in the native gardens is little blue stream, little blue stem. This is little blue stem. It's just a wonderful focal point in your garden. It looks very much like the blue fescue, but a little bit taller. So that's little blue stem. And now we're over by our fountain garden, and if you had your little brochure open, you would see this is number 8. And see, there's a stake that says it's number 8. Since we're talking about ground covers, let's talk about the really tight ones that grow close to the ground and like a lot of sun. You might be able to see that this is a very sunny day. This is a very sunny spot. And here we have a combination of many different kinds of thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, thyme. And we have a lot of the stone crop, which comes in many different colors and sizes. And if you come out here, you can read these little tags, and they'll tell you exactly what it is you're looking at, so you know what you want to buy for your own garden. Now, these are the ones that grow close. So we've got sedums, we've got thymes, we have creeping jenny. And a lot of people say, oh, don't put creeping jenny in your yard because it'll take over. Well, you can see it's trying to take over here, but then we haven't tried to control it yet. It pulls out very easily, and we'll be doing some of that as it gets more invasive. Here we have more of our stone crop, so where we had just the little tiny pieces, now we've got them that are several inches tall. Different kind of stone crop. This one is the Hypernicum St. John's wort, which is very pretty, and you can see it's got a couple of different shades of green, and it'll have a lot of yellow flowers on it. I don't think the camera can get the one yellow flower that's blooming because it's just starting to bloom. But this St. John's wort is a great ground cover, very not invasive but aggressive. And what I like about it too is it never has any pests. It doesn't have any problems. And further over there, you're going to see more stone crop. You're going to see some euphorbia. These are all just really good ground covers. And if you come out here, you can see how they're actually growing in person. You don't have to try to decide what it means when it says this or that on the label on the container. Now we're going to go on over to see another one of my favorites. Now we're in the 2006 garden, and we've got quite a few ground covers here. Look at that Angelina, isn't that pretty? That's another one of the stone crops. That's that really bright yellowish color. And then we've got quite a few of the grassy ones. The one right here is the mondo grass. It especially likes some shade, but it's in full sun here, so it does well anywhere. Now with the mondo grass, regular mondo grass is green, grows about, 6 inches tall. We also have a black mondo grass. I especially love the black, and it's got some pretty little bell-shaped flowers on it. So this one is the, they just call it black mondo grass if you go to buy some. There's a smaller one. Whoops, this one had water on it. This one is one of my favorites because you can plant it instead of planting regular grass, and it won't grow to where you have to mow it. So this is dwarf mondo grass. We have liriope or liriop, it's called different names, and of course that's further behind me. You've probably spotted that. I know you can't see this one, so I'm just going to hold it up if you can see it. This one is a geranium, and some of these native geraniums are native, bloom different colors, mostly the kind of purple that we've got back here behind me. And then there's just a couple more here that I really wanted you to see because we haven't talked about hosta. So I brought out a hosta. This one grows really big. This one is some in substance, but it'll grow in the sun. You know, hosta usually likes shade. And there's a lot of wonderful hosta that you can grow in any place. You can have some of those little mouse ears and blue mouse ears that really do grow tight to the ground and are real ground covers. We also have one of our favorites right down here. This one is one of the hellebores, also called Lenten rose, and one of the reasons people especially like it is that it blooms for about 3 months out of the year, and it blooms when nothing else is growing. The hellebores, or Lenten rose, bloom all through February and March, probably all through April. So that's the little guy down there. When he's through blooming, he still has really nice leaves for the rest of the year. In ground covers, of course, a lot of people really appreciate the conifers, the ones with the needles, stay green all year round. This one is probably sold more than any other conifer. This is blue rug, and you can see that there's just a few of these plants in here, but they've come out over a big area. That's a gray owl behind that, and a gold mops, so you can see that they go very well with other plants. And now the last one we've got today is my very favorite. We saved the best for last. The very last plant that we're going to talk about right now is my all-time favorite, Procumbens nana. This is on both sides of me. This very low-growing plant is Procumbens nana. Let's see, if you go to the nursery to buy it, it might be called a Japanese juniper or a green garden juniper, but it'll also have the Latin name of Procumbens nana. It always grows like this. This is full grown, and it's only, about 6 inches tall, might grow 7 or 8. That's as tall as it gets, and you can see there is not a weed amongst it. It shades out the ground, so it's a wonderful plant. And you can see how well it plays with others, too. I wish I had a blue star to show you. If you come out here, you're going to see some other ground covers that we just couldn't get to. But this is, as I say, my favorite, and I'm going to end there. And this is Carol Burdett for the Cumberland County Master Gardeners signing off. See you next time.